This is The Roxanne Show. Get ready. It's time to rise.
And so I saw Dr. Mijan. I love this man so much. I saw Dr. Mijan for 6 years. I had no health insurance. And I said to him, I don't know if I can afford. I was living on my own apartment. I was working part-time and I was pursuing my acting career. But he saw my dedication to the work on myself. And he said, I'm going to give you a discounted rate. So he gave me basically 50% off. And then there were times when I couldn't pay. And he goes, that's okay. You'll pay me eventually. And I go, oh my God, thank you. So over the 6 years, there were times when I couldn't pay him. 4 months would go by and I felt so guilty. And he goes, you'll pay me. And then I would hit an acting job or a modeling job. And as soon as I get the check, I'm writing him a check and I'm like fully paid off. And so that was an investment in myself.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that I did that, because I don't think that my life would be as good as it is now had I not done the work on me, on my mental state, on my emotional state, on my childhood trauma. Mm-hmm. I think that all of that trauma would have been ruling me, and I don't think I would have been as good of a mom as I am. I'm not a perfect mom, and I feel very guilty sometimes about things that I did do or didn't do and all these things. But when I really think about it, I got to give it to myself. And I say, you know what? I am a good mom. My kids are really, really lucky to have me. But it's because I did the work on myself, and I continue to do the work on myself.
Yeah.
Still in therapy, different therapist, and she's badass, rebel therapist. I freaking love her. So grateful.
Well, I think you're always doing all kinds of work on yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, part of our connection, energetically, there's that initial or immediate resonance,
Mm-hmm.
but we clicked on so many levels of just interest, and all the interests are self-development interests, taking care of your health and all of that. And it's this whole holistic way of going about yourself and your lifestyle. And I think that's so important, especially when, just period, really, but especially when, you do maybe have a harder journey, like maybe as the underdog or, being the other, you the more that you're doing these investments of self, health, mental health, all kinds of health, like anything that's going to help you to get into a healthier relationship with yourself, so that you can pursue your life from a more empowered, energy and state. I think it's so important. It's essential.
It's essential. And again, what's the alternative?
But I love that bottom line.
Like, what's the alternative?
Yeah.
It's not going to be as good.
Yeah.
It will not be as good if you don't take care of yourself. It just won't.
Well, see, let's talk about that. When I hear you say that, I hear you saying, I'm just not going to settle. I'm not. Yeah. Her eyebrows are like,
oh, hell
no. Where do you think that came from? Because this is important.
Question. Go ahead. It's a tough question.
Well, especially if you don't have anybody showing you differently. Mm-hmm. Why are you going to believe, like, what is that even about?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess watching TV when I was a kid and watching these people live these incredible lives, I was like, why not me? Why can't I? I want that too. It's not fair.
Right.
And then I grew up and realized that everybody, even people on TV, are just as messed up. But
that was later. But
initially, the driving force was, no, I deserve it too. I have value too. I have something to say. I want to show up and stake my claim as well.
Yeah.
In spite of all my insecurities, I always feel insecure. So I struggle with saying these words. I'm going to be straight up honest. I struggle with saying these words that I owned it and I did this and I did that, because to this day I'm still insecure, and I want to share that, because I feel like sometimes people watch podcasts or interviews or whatever, and people seem like they have it so together, and they're like, they figured out the answers to life.
Yeah.
And you just got to do it this way and do it that way. And I'm not doing that. I'm saying I have some ideas. They seem to have worked for me.
Yeah.
I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
And I want people to know that it's okay.
Yeah.
That I don't have it figured out and I'm still trying and they don't have it figured out, and that's okay. And they can continue to try and get ahead and figure themselves out. And it's okay. Like, I want to let people off the hook from looking at people who seemingly have it all together.
Yeah.
Don't believe it. They don't have it all together. They might have figured some things out.
Yeah.
And you can maybe get some golden nuggets of wisdom from them and use it and apply it to your life the best way that you can. And then go to someone else and see what else you can learn from other people. And then maybe you can also share wisdom so other people can learn.
Yeah.
You know,
it's so powerful. And I don't think you'd even have the wisdom. You have such rich wisdom. You wouldn't have that if you weren't betting on yourself, if you weren't willing to get messy, to take the fucking punches and to get back up and to keep going forward.
Yeah.
And the wisdom is, I mean, it's everything. I mean, think about, you know, I mean, just what it offers you just for yourself, but now how it impacts your children, how it impacts, you know, your community and everyone that you get to come across, all of, you know, everyone who's looking up to you, because there's so many people who do look up to you, and rightfully so. But I love that you share that, because I think more now than ever, when we have social media now, and now everything's like visible and certainly polished and done. And it's like, you know, to share that message, I think is so perfectly timed and important, because it gives people permission to be who the fuck they are and go for it. And what I love too is that, like, look, maybe not everyone's going to see all of your messy moments and your quote unquote failure, if there is even, because I think they're more lessons that set you up to the wins. Maybe they're seeing the highlight reel, the highlight reel and the wins, which I do think is important too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you weaving in the, hey, but don't get it twisted.
Because I was just bawling my eyes out before this interview. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, yeah. Thanks so much for listening, you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review.